When a patient enters a hospital, the entire cascade of treatment usually hinges on a single moment, the initial diagnosis. In fact, 7 out of 10 complex medical decisions depend entirely on those early diagnostic tests. For decades, the tools used to make those critical decisions were imprecise. We relied on generalized blood panels and early X-rays, machinery designed to scan the surface for physical symptoms, rather than uncovering the molecular cause of a disease. This lack of specific data often forced doctors into a cycle of trial and error. Without personalized information, physicians prescribed treatments based on what worked for the average patient. If the first medication failed, they tried a second, hoping to find a match through repetition. But complex diseases do not wait for a lucky guess. Relying on generalized medicine for aggressive illnesses burns through critical treatment windows, ultimately costing patients their lives. By 2026, the global healthcare landscape has reached a turning point. Diagnostic labs have moved past these generalized methods, integrating precision medicine into standard clinical workflows. Instead of waiting for a physical symptom to appear, modern diagnostics bypass the surface. Medical professionals are now analyzing the body at its most basic level. This is molecular diagnostics. Laboratories have moved beyond basic chemical testing to directly read the DNA and RNA, the biological instruction manuals of both the patient and the disease. Disease is no longer viewed as a universal invader. It is now treated as a specific biological interaction, determined by a patient's unique genetic profile. In oncology, liquid biopsies isolate tiny fragments of mutant DNA from a standard blood draw long before a physical tumor forms. This graph shows how intercepting cancer early in its molecular phase lets doctors begin targeted treatment while the disease is most vulnerable. The lessons from recent pandemics have pushed this technology into infectious diseases as well. Simply identifying that an infection exists is no longer enough for modern medical standards. To fight back, laboratories rely on next-generation sequencing, or NGS. This process maps the exact mutations of a pathogen. By 2026, the cost of this sequencing has dropped enough to make it a standard tool in most diagnostic facilities. Armed with a complete genetic map of the infection, doctors no longer rely on broad-spectrum drugs. They can target the specific biological vulnerabilities of the bacteria or virus. However, generating this level of detail created a logistical bottleneck. Next-generation sequencing produces massive data sets of biological code for every single patient. Forcing human technicians to manually sequence and interpret millions of these data points used to require weeks of intensive laboratory work. Artificial intelligence now automates this processing. Algorithms scan millions of genetic variations, instantly identifying the specific mutations that dictate how a disease behaves. This automation allows labs to deliver a flawless diagnostic report directly to the physician in a matter of hours rather than weeks. When dealing with aggressive diseases, reducing analysis time from weeks to hours can save lives that were previously lost to the wait. This speed is critical in India, where the healthcare system is facing rising rates of cancer and the localized threat of antimicrobial resistance, or AMR. For years, the use of generalized antibiotics without knowing the exact bacterial strain has fueled the rise of drug-resistant superbugs across the country. Molecular diagnostics provides a weapon against AMR. By reading the pathogen's DNA, doctors can pinpoint exactly which drug will work on the first try. This eliminates the need for guesswork, preventing the overprescription of ineffective broad-spectrum medicines. In India, providing this level of individualized drug matching has become the primary strategy for preventing widespread drug resistance. One final hurdle remained: access. Advanced molecular testing was previously restricted to massive centralized urban hospitals due to the size and complexity of the equipment. That barrier is falling with the rise of point-of-care, or POC, testing. Engineers have successfully shrunk these laboratories into highly portable, desktop-sized machines. These devices are bringing molecular accuracy out of the major cities and directly to patients in small towns and rural villages. The reach of precise diagnostics is no longer limited to high-tech central laboratories. By shrinking the hardware, molecular testing has become a decentralized tool for immediate, localized care. If you are a healthcare professional or an investor tracking the technology shaping the future of medicine, like this video and subscribe for more updates.